topic is one that I sometimes get confronted with. Not so much in my personal life, but sometimes like online, through YouTube, through media, through what have you. And it's kind of annoying, and it's really not true. So the topic is, if you are a goth, are you then therefore depressed? Or, if you are depressed, are you therefore a goth? Well, the backstory on this is that I see myself as a goth. Shouldn't be too difficult to get from this appearance, this face, and these clothing items. Also, I happen to be bipolar, so therefore I am prone to depressions. Now, these two have nothing to do with each other. I was probably bipolar for most of my life, even prior to delving into the darker side of things and ultimately becoming a goth. Also, when people see this, if they then assume that I am depressed like all the time, it just doesn't work like that, guys. I mean, I'm sorry, but yeah, a lot of goths may appear to be kind of mopey and depressed and what have you, but take it from me, I've been there. I have had a proper clinical depression more than once in my life, and mopey goth ain't even close. Let me tell you that straight up. Because it's not the same thing. And also, maybe I prefer wearing dark clothing because I am prone to depression. I don't know. But being a goth does not automatically mean that you will get depressed or you have to be depressed to be a goth. It just doesn't work like that. So it just kind of annoys me when people lump the two together and think that just because he or she is gothic, they have an inherent natural, I don't know what you would call it, personality trait as being depressed. It's not like that. Yeah, goths do look at the darker side of things, but that doesn't equal depression. We may be more aware of the risk of depression, of course, but again, it doesn't equal anything. And what kind of bugs me sometimes is not just goths, but like people in general. If I tell someone when it draws near to autumn or fall here in Norway that I'm feeling kind of down and I feel kind of like a depression coming on, and if that person knows that I'm bipolar and therefore prone to depressions, what really gets me is when they say, "Oh, I know just how you feel." And I kind of want to go, "Really? You do? Wow, tell me." Because the problem with my kind of depression is that it changes from time to time, and more often than not, there's no explanation for why it occurred in the first place. So I kind of feel it come on sometimes by my thoughts shifting, turning everything around me into something negative towards myself. It's something that my brain tends to do when I'm moving towards a depression, and vice versa when I move towards an up phase or a hypomania. Mine are called hypomanias. My mind shifts into me being awesome in everything, and I'm just the best in whatever I do. I start a billion projects and I go full hog on everything, and then I crash. So, in general, if people tell me that, oh, I feel a bit depressed now, or I'm having a down day, I'm like, really? And not trying to get sympathy or anything, but it's kind of, the word, at least here in Norway, in Norwegian, the word for down is used when you're having a crappy day. It's like a 13-year-old kid being dumped by her boyfriend will use the same word as I use to describe when I'm unable to go to work because I'm under my bed covers crying all day. And she will use that same word to describe her instant feeling when the boyfriend dumps her by a text message. And I'm like, well, it's not really the same thing, is it? No. Equally, the difference, and there is a difference between bipolar or unipolar depression as an illness and what the health professionals term a depressive episode, is that a depressive episode will have an explanation, such as the loss of a loved one, a traumatic event, major life changes that leads to something traumatic, whatever. Stuff like that will explain why you feel like shit for like 3 weeks straight afterwards. In my case, and most other who have bipolar, or are bipolar, I don't know really how you would say it, we don't have that. We don't have the explanation. We only have the depression and the symptoms and all the crap that goes with it. So, being a goth does not mean I am depressed all the time, but in my particular case, I happen to be prone to depressions as well.